Hey everyone, Michael Hammond here with your Monday morning fuel up. Hope all of you guys had a great weekend. Had a good weekend. It was one of those typical summer weekends. Didn't have 50 million things on our agenda. We've been traveling a lot. We've been graduations and celebrations and birthdays, and this was just a typical summer weekend. Got a few things done, no major projects done. So I hope all of you guys had a fantastic weekend. It's hard to believe it's June 3rd. We're already into June. We're charging forward. But I want to share an experience that I had this weekend that I think directly relates to the mortgage industry and what I've seen take place a lot this year. So let me share a story I had. I super excited this weekend. I was smoking a brisket, got all of the prep work done, got all of my seasonings, had a beautiful 7-pound brisket, had people invited over for dinner, and got up early, got up at like 4, put it on the smoker, everything. And then as the day was going on the smoker just wasn't retaining its heat as well. So it was taking significantly longer to cook. And it finally got to the point where it was going to be pretty obvious to me that I was going to miss dinner. It was not going to be done in time for dinner, or I would have to make some decisions, right? I could speed up the cooking, turn up the heat. I could do a bunch of different things. But what I had to make a decision of is I had already invested a lot of time, energy, effort, resources to have this beautiful brisket. And I could either turn up the heat, probably dry it out and totally ruin dinner and waste all of that. Or I could make the decision that follow the process, stick with the process. But in doing so, I had to come up with an alternative for dinner that night and then just have the brisket the following day. And frustration sets in. So a number of things happen, right? You have to first check your mindset. Are you going to get pissed off, mad, and let it ruin the entire weekend? Luckily, I chose not to. I could have turned up the heat, and luckily I chose not to. The brisket turned out great. So what does cooking brisket have to do with the mortgage industry? Well, what I've seen in the mortgage industry throughout this year is people having to make that decision. Sales are not coming in. I got to close more deals. Whether you're a vendor trying to sell into lenders and banks and credit unions, or whether you are a lender trying to close more loans. What do people do when they have that decision? They rush the sale. They turn up the heat. They skip steps within discovery, or they skip discovery completely. And what all of that does is they get a bunch of contracts out, they get proposals out, and nothing happens. Why? Because they didn't follow the process. They didn't wait for the things to happen that needed to happen. They didn't establish value. They didn't do proper discovery and understand the true need and then apply that need and those pain points to the value that your product or solution can bring, whether that's a technology solution or whether that's a mortgage product. So as we go forward this week, don't let frustration, don't let the urge to, yes, we have to have urgency and create more sales. Don't let that force you into making bad and poor judgments. Follow the process. Let it play out. Maybe you need to get more people involved in the process of meaning more accounts to go after, more potential borrowers so that you're not rushing that one deal. And what I can tell you is because I waited, because my family was patient, they said, hey, Dad, let's just go to our favorite chicken place. Get that for that night. We had it. We enjoyed it. We laughed. And then when the brisket came off, cut that. It was delicious. We had it the next day. And that's what it's going to take. When you're striving to do great things, you can't neglect the process and try to skip steps and think you're going to have a great outcome. Stick with the process, embrace the process, and make great things happen this week. Go out there and have an amazingly blessed week and always be adding value.